This is the Feminine Inquisition. Can you hear me? Let's just talk about how I did your reading. Yeah, I even made the thumbnail. And I mean, it wasn't so great of a reading. It was about you standing in your way, not really being sure about what you deserve. Very similar to the all signs Aries energy that I tapped into, where you thought your opportunity for success was a trap. This time it was about love. And Ten of Swords showed up 2 times. And you were working really hard to get out of your own way. Oof. I don't know what goes on out there. But then I spilled my drink all over the table because my hand caught the straw. The microphone disconnected from its mount. I had to throw the iPad off of the magic keyboard. It was a disaster. Total disaster. Okay? And inevitably, what we were talking was about the Emperor showed up 2 times. If you really wanted to be there, you deserve to be there, it's a long time coming. And at the same time, it terrified you. So I'm going to try it again. Hopefully you leave my shit alone on my table. Also, this is for Aries, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, and Venus. It is for any Aries people that you are checking up on. It is for the month of June, which holds the wisdom of contradiction, how Gemini can share with the rest of the zodiac how 2 thoughts can be true at the same time. So we're going to go into those 2 ideas, thoughts that you may have, and with Cancerian influence, learn if they have to do with any personal items about you, right? So it's how we do. It's how we go. It's what we do. Okay, let's just try to get along. Okay, Aries? All right. Everybody, thumbs up, comment, and share. Already. Queen of Wands and the 10 of Pentacles, right? Okay. So we'll take it like this. The 2 thoughts. 3 of Wands. You're trying to manifest something. You're waiting for something to show up. Something that you desire a lot. And also something that's going to have an impact on your stability. It has to do with your environment. I think that you treasure where you are in life at this moment. Let's learn. 3 of Wands, 4 of Swords, Ace of Swords. Yeah, sleeping on that sword. Understanding that what you're calling to you is from you for you, right? 10 of Wands, 5 of Wands, Hierophant. So much energy, so much chaos, confusion, competition, exhaustion of whether or not you participate and go with the group to find the best way, or if you are the leader from the throne, tell people how it should be, what's always worked in the past. And then with 2 aces back to back, there is a divine moment here, a rising up of your energy, where the Queen of Wands intuitively knows that something that she's been longing for with respect to stability is coming through. Now, how are these 2 different ideas? They may not be, right? You could very well be initiating a movement here, already understanding the wisdom of contradiction, right? Just blowing right through it. However, I also have Judgment peeking out from the middle of this deck, which means that you have to make choices regarding your desire and also staying the course. Three of Wands could be a potential travel, potential trip, potential change of the environment that the Queen of Wands so desires, but that maybe, as resources dictate, it might be smarter to be working with, you know, the way that the Hierophant would say no. So that's the internal conflict. That's the Five of Wands. You're tired of this, Ten of Wands. You're complete with it. Maybe you want something new. Hierophant is really not all about the new. Maybe you have Taurian aspects of your chart, or it could be closely connected to a Taurus, or something in May, Taurus season, has to do with what we're talking. Magician came through so much, so did Hermit in the previous reading. Tower. All right. Three majors in the center of the reading, talking about what stands between these two ideas: the manifestation, the healing manifestation of the star, which is what you feel connected to bring about in this world, obviously does not have space to grow, to shine in the world, which is why your current environment is going through a tower moment, a shakeup. What is this? What's underneath? The King of Wands. Wow. Okay. So the divine feminine and masculine, just like it showed up in your previous reading, it was Emperor and Empress, and it was King and Queen of Pentacles. Here I've got the King and Queen of Wands. Fire energy, whether or not you're in a relationship, whether or not you're trying to manifest a relationship. What I had learned from the last reading was that you were calling into existence a divine counterpart, but were terrified and didn't know how to put the foot on the gas when it arrived. There's unconditional love and then a departure therefrom. Why? Because the Hierophant is thinking that he knows how to keep himself happy, and he's very content to guard this with all of his might. Anything that is less than what he deems this to be in his perspective is going to be confusing, right? This is, again, that same message of there being a stopping, a hand, a pause, there's a guard. There's a guard up that doesn't allow the energy to flow. In the previous reading, it was the Four of Pentacles. Here, it's the Hierophant. The Nine of Swords was all over your past reading. I think I saw it 3 times. So the management of your mind from the fears that are triggering you. I don't know. I don't see the devil. Change is essential. Change can come from you. Change will come from you. You are manifesting something. So that is, in essence, change. But there's an avoidance streak here. And avoidance from what? The Queen of Cups, the love of self, or someone unconditionally loving you. How ridiculous is that, right? So let us go, now that everything is dry here. Should have seen me. Should have seen the mini Pompeii that I was over here. Can I see, the Queen, can I see the Queen of Wands, the King of Wands? Can I see Aries? Where do they show up here? What do they want? What do they need? Slightly different setup than the previous readings, partly because of where I'm at, and partly because you've got so many majors. King of Swords. Knight of Pentacles. Queen of Swords. Wow. Yeah. So I don't know what you've been dealing with, Aries. If you've been trying to reconcile the two sides of you, feminine and masculine, I really don't know. But something about you is exhausted with the polarity between. I mean, actually, it's slowing you down. And you need to transition, you need to integrate, you need to balance this out. The Star is here. The Page of Pentacles is here. Ready to walk into the bright light. The bright light of whatever is new. There's the Queen of Wands. Chaos is what it is. Healing your manifestation power. Maybe you're calling things into you that you can't manage. What's this Ten of Pentacles, please? What's this Ten of Pentacles, please? What is the Ten of Pentacles, please? Good. So what fell on top of the Queen of Wands is the Eight of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles, Nine of Wands in reverse. Fool. Your environment is restrictive for you. Your desire has become hard work. That's why your Magician is going through a cleanup. The Lovers is here. The Lovers was in your previous reading. It was one of your other thoughts. The Fool is here. You want to take a chance. On that I understand, but with the Lovers here, this is something else. You want Tower again. Take a chance. So the Tower is something that you want to create. King and Queen of Wands, I don't know. Nine of Pentacles, that's confidence. 9 and 9, that's independence. This is the Four of Swords. In this deck, it's postponement. Death, the transformation. 10 of Cups. Taking a chance on a big change that involves the maturity of your own spirit so that the resources that you can count on are ones that you create yourself. An end to postponing your happiness. Here's the dream, Six of Cups. So something about the Queen of Wands has to get to work. Let's go there. Share with me, please, about the Queen of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles. The Queen of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles. That's the Emperor. Okay, so we're back to the original reading. Are you going to step up to this next elevated place, this next position of power, of embodying what it means to support you, to be your cheerleader, to be a leader, to state your needs, to satisfy your curiosity, to live this life empowered. This is go with the flow. This is the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups was in your previous reading also. It needs to be a matter of, and you can't answer this now, but like, do you love you? The question is, how much do you love you? Do you love all of you, King and Queen of Wands? Can you get to work? Can you break the chains of what has been resistance to perhaps wholeness, alignment, flow? The feminine and the masculine. Well, what is that about? That is, it's a big deal here. You have some conditioning that's programmed into your mindset, or are we actually talking about a lover? Give me a moment. Show me this lover's union. Show me this lover's card. Show me the choices as it relates to the other. Show me the lovers. For Aries. King of Cups. 9 of Wands. 7 of Wands. King of Wands. 9 of Pentacles. You've been fighting your emotions for a really long time and calling it strength. Perhaps you feel that every time you fill your cup, you have to give it away. Or perhaps then when you fill your cup, it doesn't stay. Yeah, this is a self-sabotage. This is your energy. So this is initiation. With the Knight of Cups, we have the King here. There is a way in which the independence that you have found is balancing out your emotions so that you can plan and take action, but you're still at the Page level. So this is the fat of the blade for me, the Page of Swords, where you can look in the mirror. But all of this above, it's quite burdensome because the King of Cups is here. King of Cups shows up to give emotional support to yourself or from you to others. He understands, honors, and respects emotions, but he understands also the limits. So not to be burdened or overthrown by one's emotions. And yet here is this beast that you're fighting against. But there's no one but you. That's another 9 card. This is about the management of understanding your actions up until this point. Are you fighting who you were previously? I mean, hindsight is 2020. So you just got to be at peace with what you've done up until this point. The 7 of Wands, you come from the 9, reduce 2, go back to the 7. You think, okay, I can start again. I'm not happy where I'm at with the 9. There's still some beasts that I have to argue with, fight with, that I'm up against. They're just demons of the mind. And then so you try to do another endeavor, 7 of Wands. You try to pray for a recovery and another second chance. Let's spin the wheel. Let's take initiative and make something else happen. That's very fire-like of you, right? 7 of Wands. Here we go. And then from the 7 of Wands, you do well. You come into the King of Wands. Boom. Okay. So here you are, King of Wands. But in order to do the work that is required to elevate, this Queen of Wands needs your attention. Why? Because the Emperor is the divine masculine. And he knows how to balance the divine feminine. So much of the King of Wands' effort is to control, but that is not how the Emperor operates, which is the change that you're going through, the vulnerability that you're transforming, the stoicism and the cold, detached Venus in Virgo. Now with fire in your chest and the Piscean waters, you can bring your energy to hold the world and choose from this place. Okay. It's a process, and it's a brand new process for you, and it's a good one. And so that means that Gemini season and Cancer season, they're offering you course correction, redemption, direction. And I took it back, but remember the Fool is here. So where is this going then? Do not mind those. They might still turn up, but do not mind them now. Where is this going? One more shuffle. Where is this going? For Aries. Eight of Wands, Empress, 5 of Wands, the Knight of Swords. Okay, there it is. Your divine feminine counterpart, 5 of Pentacles, again, is peeking out through my hands. So if you're in a no contact situation where you're separated from someone that you consider your person, the work that you need to do is towards this Queen of Wands. This Empress. The Resistance. This is Nine of Wands. This is Nine of Wands. The guard needs to go down. Scale it back to the Eight of Wands so that you can communicate with the Empress and that you can rewrite, make right the chaos of the actions. Communicate and explain with swift, decisive words that which was really confusing, very overly critical, chaotic, inconsistent, and combative. It must be transformed. The sun is here. It must be transformed. It must be mutated. It must shift. Then you can walk away from these negative emotions and return to the Ace of Cups. There's the Peace. There's the King of Wands. Exactly. Exactly. If you are not in a connection, then we are simply talking about, like I have said in the previous reading, the balancing of the feminine and the masculine within you. As you look into the mirror, you will be divinely guided to understand where you cut your nose off to spite your face, where you censored your voice because you thought with the conditioning that was handed down from your family that it would have been not like a guy or a girl, not like a man or a woman, not ladylike, not masculine, weak, strong, like all these categories of what is acceptable expressions within a gender construct. And it's internal conflict because what happens is that you're putting the energy that wants to freely flow from you into a script that has nothing to do with how you feel. And it's rain on the parade. Okay? So, very interesting. I mean, I feel actually a lot better this time around. Nothing has crashed. I mean, it was my fault, but still, your energy was running through me. And actually, I didn't have so much of a resolve like the Eight of Wands or the Knight of Swords. So I'm happy about that. Can I have advice for Aries for June? Advice for Aries for June, please and thank you. Three of Wands, that's your energy again. Here's the two, moving to the three. Let what you want go freely and know that it will come back to you. Again, Temperance. If you are dealing with Sagittarius, they have shown up 3 times. Or if this is a suggestion from Spirit to pull down from this energy, recognize the bigger picture. Allow yourself to be optimistic, right? That's the big handful of wisdom, all the nuggets of gold that Sagittarius offers us. The victory in having faith, right? You shoot the arrow, you go towards it. You might not even be able to see it. It doesn't matter. The faith is that you know where you're going. Trust in the process. Know that there's nothing you can't get through. That's what Temperance teaches. The alchemy of pouring one cup into the other, or whatever she does with her cup, so that the liquid can become gold. The liquid can become a dove. One more. Queen of Wands. And it's that faith that brings you to understand, finally, yes, I was waiting for this. So the Ten of Swords is the only card that hasn't repeated. So that when and if you are able to alchemize, you can really put to bed the limits of your mind. This is Sun in Gemini. It's been showing up for every single person for these June readings, that you can finally put to bed the limit of your mind, that you couldn't do that because it was not according to the construct of the conditionality that you had set. This is a limit of how you can express yourself because it's swords. And here we see you taking action, 3 of Wands. This is active participation with the world, balancing harmoniously with the feminine, okay, as the King of Wands, because you've shown me that 2 times. So I know that I've talked a lot about a reading that you didn't watch, but just trust me that I wouldn't make that up, okay? I hope that this has resonated, and if there is anything that you have gained from this moment, sharing it with me, please give me a thumbs up and let me know. And if it's not your reading, please check your other placements. Don't take the energy if it doesn't fit your life. I thank you so much for being here, and until the next time I read for you. Ciao, Aries.